Hi there. We are going to talk today about a topic that's unfortunately becoming all too familiar: active threats in our churches. Hi there. My name is Todd Rhoades, and you're listening to the Healthy Church Staff Podcast. I'm also one of the co-founders over at chemistrystaffing.com. Recently, there was a church in Texas. I was just reading about this. It's a freaky story. A hoax active shooter call. Now, thankfully, it was just that, a hoax at a church. But as Pastor Matt Waldrop from First Woodway Baptist Church shared in the news article I was reading, it forced them to confront a reality that many of us would rather avoid. This incident, while it was a false alarm, provides some valuable lessons for all of us. And the pastor highlighted the importance of having a plan in place before something happens. They had a security team ready to respond, and that preparedness brought a sense of calm amidst the chaos that they experienced. And you can Google to find out exactly what happened there if you want to. So what can we learn from this kind of near miss? 5 things I've got here for you today. First of all, and this is a big one, don't assume that it can't happen to you. Even a church in a safe community can be targeted. I remember an actual church shooting a few years ago that was a church in a tiny community. It was like a white picket fence steepled church in the middle of nowhere. And there was some family issues going on, and I believe it was an ex-husband that went in and shot a bunch of people. So don't assume. You know what happens when you assume, but don't assume that it can't happen to you, because it can happen anywhere. Second, invest in training and invest in technology. And First Woodway had invested in security cameras and a system that allowed them to quickly communicate with the entire congregation. And those tools proved to be invaluable during the incident. So invest in training. Make sure you have that team around. Make sure you have the security cameras and the technology in place to identify any kind of threat that may be imminent or anything that might be a brew, okay? So don't assume it can't happen to you, number 1. Number 2, invest in training and technology. Number 3, empower your people. Make sure your staff and volunteers know what to do in an emergency. Consider that basic training in situational awareness and de-escalation techniques. Make sure you have a team, a security team, those that are watching for anything that might be suspicious or anything that might not be normal. Make sure that you have people in place to do that. It's really vital these days to keep everyone safe. Here's an important one too. Number 4 is build relationship with local law enforcement. Pastor Waldrop emphasized the importance of having a strong connection with the local police. And this allows for, first of all, faster response times and better coordination in a crisis. But it also will just help, even if you have an officer present at some of your services, this will help give reassurance that to your people that you are watching out for them. Make sure that your local police department and fire department have a schematic of the layout of your building and the entrances and exits and all of that. So build those relationships with local law enforcement. And then lastly, balance security with a welcoming environment. I've been in churches where honestly, the presence of security made me feel a little unwelcome and a little bit on edge. So while we need to be prepared, we don't want to turn our churches into a fortress, okay? So find ways to maintain a welcoming atmosphere while still prioritizing safety. I was in a church that it wasn't a large church, but it was very obvious that the senior pastor had 1 or 2 security people around him, and they did not look friendly. It was not a welcoming environment for someone who wanted to meet their pastor on a Sunday morning. It could be matter of fact, it was very intimidating. So here's your bottom line. The hoax that happened at that Baptist church in Texas, it can be a stark reminder that we need to be prepared for the unthinkable. Nobody ever thinks that it's ever going to happen to us, but it happens somewhere, and us is someone. So take action today by reviewing your church's security plan. If you don't have one, man, you got to get one. Put it on your agenda. You need to have something in place and invest in the training and technology, build those relationships with local law enforcement, And if you're feeling overwhelmed or unsure as to where to start, remember, you're not alone. Reach out to me, podcast@chemistrystaffing.com. We've got some people on our team that can help you work through that security plan, or at least connect you with some resources and experts that can help you navigate this challenging issue. So you can reach out to me anytime, podcast@chemistrystaffing. Hope this is helpful, and be safe out there. It's a crazy world.